We continue our trip to the Pacific Northwest, Alaska, and Vancouver with the drive up the Yukon Highway during our port day in Skagway. But first, breakfast. Hey, who took that picture? In Skagway, they've installed protective nets on the steep slopes to mitigate the risk of landslides. These nets are designed to catch falling rocks and debris, preventing them from reaching roads in populated areas. While in port, we rented a car and took a road trip up the Yukon Highway into Canada. We booked the rental car in advance of our vacation. I've included the link to the rental car company in the description, along with the brief overview of the car and the rental process. We stopped here at Cafe on 5th to grab a cup of coffee before hitting the Yukon Highway. Then we were on our way, riding through Skagway before hitting the Yukon.
Sean's driving us up into the Yukon.
The Yukon Highway winds along the shores of shimmering lakes and rivers, with frequent opportunities to pull over and take in the scenery or snap photos. Keep an eye out for wildlife, as you may encounter moose, bears, and other animals along the way. The train from Skagway offers another fantastic way to explore this beautiful region. Just keep in mind that it can be a little crowded, making it challenging to capture photos or videos. Additionally, you'll need to adhere to the train schedule and itinerary. The drive up the Yukon Highway from Skagway to Carcross, Canada, is a breathtaking journey that showcases stunning landscapes and natural beauty. You'll ascend through lush forest and rugged mountains with a panoramic view that reveals the vastness of the wilderness. In just about a half hour's drive, you reach the Canadian border. Since we had the whole day before needing to return to our ship, we took our time, stopping frequently to capture photos and videos and simply enjoying the breathtaking beauty around us. This area has outhouses that are only accessible during the winter seasons for hunters and local authorities. We came upon the Yukon Suspension Bridge, and of course we had to stop. The Yukon Suspension Bridge is an iconic stop that offers an unforgettable experience if you dare. You'll be treated to stunning views of the surrounding wilderness, including lush forest and rushing rivers below. The bridge spans a deep canyon, providing a thrilling sense of adventure if you dare. We finished up our visit to the Yukon Suspension Bridge and got back on the road. We decided to stop at another scenic pullout to soak in the surrounding beauty. As you cross the border into British Columbia, the scenery shifts subtly but remains equally breathtaking. The landscape becomes more varied with lush valleys, alpine meadows, and dramatic cliffs. Each bend in the road offers new vistas, from serene lakes reflecting the sky to rocky outcrops that rise from the earth. Be sure to keep an eye out for the Yukon and Welcome to British Columbia signs. This is a great chance to capture some photos to document where you've been. As we continue our trip up the Yukon Highway, we came across a local woman who was selling a delightful array of Canadian snacks and handmade souvenirs. She even posed for a picture with us. After about an hour's drive, we were crossing into Carcross. You turn off the Yukon Highway into the town center, where there are several shops, restaurants, and a welcome center. There's also a beautiful totem pole. As we walk through the town center, we notice the vibrant colors of the buildings. The architecture is a lovely mix of rustic charm and modern touches. With wooden facades and inviting porches, it's a perfect spot to capture some picturesque photos. The Carcross Commons, a lively hub where locals and visitors gather. You'll find unique shops selling handcrafted goods and art, perfect for picking up a souvenir or two. The local eateries serve delicious fare, so don't miss out on your chance to try classic Yukon dishes. We visited a local shop that offers a variety of honey and maple syrup, including fireweed honey. You definitely need to give that a try. I put the shop's link in the description. As we approach the Carcross Desert, the terrain shifts to reveal the striking colors of the desert, one of the world's smallest deserts. The contrast of the golden sand against the surrounding mountains is truly remarkable. We're literally in a desert. The Carcross Desert was formed after the glaciers retreated and melted. This formed many lakes that had sand and silt at the bottoms. Over time, winds picked up the fine sand and carried them away from the lake bed, creating sandy dunes and barren landscapes we see today. There's a link in the description for more information on the Carcross Desert. We continued on to our final stop along the Yukon Highway before heading back to the ship. The Emerald Lake lay in our horizon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you Emerald Lake. The vibrant emerald color of the water, which comes from glacial silt, creates a striking contrast with the lush greens and yellow forestry and rugged cliffs that encircle the lake. Even with being here in person, it was hard to believe that what I was looking at was real. The Emerald Lake Lodge, which you see here, attracts a clientele that includes the very rich and famous. On our way back to the ship, we snuck in a stop at Beauvais Island on Tagish Lake. The link's in the description if you want more info on this gem. The drive on the way back was just as stunning and breathtaking as it was on the way up. This time looking at the area from a different vantage point. And before we knew it, we were back in Skagway. Our journey up the Yukon Highway and back took around 4 to 4.5 hours. Now, everyone's experience is going to be a little bit different depending on how long you stop and how often you stop. Depending on your ship's itinerary for the day, you should have plenty of time to make this trip up the Yukon Highway. If you have the opportunity to do so in your own rental car, I highly suggest you take that opportunity and run, or rather, drive with it. You're welcome. We dropped off the rental car. Very simple process, and getting back on the ship was a breeze. And in a short period of time, we were back on board watching for pier runners. And after freshening up and a quick change, it was time for dinner and some late night entertainment before bed. Up next, we're in Juneau, where among other things, we enjoy a wonderful Alaskan salmon bake.